does in practice in the Xfinity Series, and that's make the highlight reel, Michael.
God, look at this job he does. He's such a talented racer. Gets that car out of control, but never gave up. Slid it all the way through 3 and 4, and is going to be able to put a new set of tires on it. Maybe buff out the right rear. What do you think?
or just say, let's cut our losses and be done. What happened? Watch off of turn 4.
Just the car went straight. You know, we don't know what happened, but when I look at this scoring monitor and it tells me.
Be interested to get your opinion on. Oh, got one sliding.
55 goes around. Problem's going to bring out the first caution of the day. Brandon Hightower.
If you're flat spotted, don't come to pit road.
He's got some flat spots.
Definitely.
Hightower a lap down in 37th when it got away from him over in turn 4.
You know, that's
oh, nice job by Michael Annett. Look at that. And that's just a really heads-up job by Michael Annett. Working with his spotter. I'm sure the spotter said go high, and watch Annett come into the screen. He had to change directions, go up the hill to the right. That's not easy to do.
It's not an easy move to make when you're going that fast. He's already back on the throttle, and he's committed to that corner. So to switch directions that fast is a good job by Michael.
Best tailgate, brisket.
No, real football y pollo asado.
Hoops and wings. Dude, subs.
Hot dog.
Chili dog.
No, Dodger dog.
It's got.
I think you should talk to him.
Well, every once in a while we see him get a little aggressive, and Michael and I always react. So here's the reason we're under caution for the 3rd time. Garrett Smithley in the 0 going sideways off of turn 4.
That's a long slide, and these cars, I've talked about it a few times today, they just seem like they're on
the restart. Watch this.
That's Matt Tiff there in the 2, and wham! Look at the damage to the front end of the 2 car.
Looks like.
We stand for the traditions we inherited and that we must pass on. We stand for great gear, fair prices, expert service, and memorable experiences.
Busch, fastest car on the track last time around.
Spin turn 2. That's the 9 of Tyler Reddick.
Oh, he got it pretty good this time.
Looked like a tire blew out there too as he was sliding.
We can look at this replay up here on the upper right of the screen. And that's just sideways like we've seen so often during the course of this race for many drivers. Maybe the most dramatic has been Reddick.
So Larry, I'm curious for the drivers that didn't pit since lap 128, Kyle Busch, Cole.
I wonder if they're going to start like that.
How many laps before Kyle Busch is up there 2nd, 3rd? What do you think?
Well, he's going to be able to get to 2nd or 3rd in a hurry, I think. But the first 2 are going to be a handful.
There goes the 18. He's in the grass. He's sideways. And there goes Busch. Contact with a 98 of Chase Briscoe. And the caution is out once again. That is not what he wanted.
No, that was interesting for sure.
That grass is about undefeated, huh, Eric?
It sure is. And, you know, like you said, an aggressive move and just caught the grass and took that car right around.
And there was absolutely nothing Chase Briscoe could do. Just every now and then a car will just drop right in your lap, and there's no matter how talented you are or what you try, there's just unavoidable accidents occasionally.
Absolutely.
Appeared to be a lot more damage for Kyle than Chase here.
And, you know, I've seen Kyle make that move 100 times, and it just didn't happen to work out this time. When I've looked at it as when you're going to make aggressive moves, sometimes they're not going to play out.
Well, I would say this too. You mentioned Dylan Lupton. There were a lot of drivers up in front of Kyle that are not accustomed to being in that position at this stage of the race. That inexperience can hurt as well.
We talked about unavoidable. That was a perfect example of it right there. Are we going to say 4 wide?
I think it was 4 wide. Ryan Truex down on the bottom. Hemrick making it work up top, and there's contact. That's the 28 of Dylan Lupton.
Okay. Oh, and he's going to turn
Ty Majeski.
We're in the wall. Ease it around.
There's the caution.
Gosh, that was a tough break for Majeski.
Here's the 4 wide you talked about, Michael.
Yes, and you can see Lupton maybe trying to get up in line and just turned hard into the outside wall. That was Austin Cindric. Cindric had the spot, and Lupton tried to take it.
Yeah, and that's at that point of the race where you can't let a guy have something like that. You know, 33 laps to go. It's time to make your way to the front, and there's going to be a lot more take than there is give at this point.
I'm going to say this is just part of doing business when there's less than 40 laps to go, right?
Look at that crowd ahead of those guys, though. That's crazy how hard they're racing, and I love it. It's good TV.
And you hate this for Dylan Lupton because he was 8th. He had a chance to have his...
Feels like to be behind the wheel of one of these race cars for sure.
There's a caution, and 2 of the players at the front, Allgaier, McMurray, both were inside the top 10.
You're right, man. I'm good.
You know,
hey, hook, you're right rear.
You're going to have that coming off of a rain delay. These guys are excited to get back going. They're worried about the rain coming possibly again.
It was Spotter's opinion that he got hooked. Oh, that's just hard racing. Well, inside of 20 to go, wouldn't you say, Eric?
It is. I'd have to say the 7 probably came up a little bit on the 21, but it's tight in there. 3 wide through the dogleg here it's really narrow.
You and I said it a couple of times. 3 wide, it's hard to make that work. Everyone had been able to get through the first couple of times. This time, not so fortunate.
Well, you take a chance when you move up the hill to try to take a spot away. You put yourself in a position, you're vulnerable, that another guy can clip you if he doesn't let off the gas. And I just don't think you let off this late in the race. And certainly Hemrick thought that. Did you see that that left front fender cave in and pop right out?
I knew you were going to comment on that.
That's crazy.
Jamie McMurray crashed out today. He'll be with us in the booth next weekend when we go to Pocono Saturday afternoon.
Big move by Bell off turn 2 to grab 3rd away from Dillon.
Crash down the back straightaway. No caution yet. There it is. Keselowski is leading.
Down the backstretch.
And Brad going to win for the 2nd time in 2018 here at Charlotte. We had picked up the white flag, so we knew the next flag was going to end the race. And here's what happened coming off of turn 2 that final time around.
Looks like a replay from earlier where the 9 car just gets loose, and then you can see Ty Majeski just, that car was already damaged, I'm sure a handful, and he had to try to change directions, and around it went.
Yeah, just a chain reaction there. And the 9 getting free on exit, spinning out, losing control, and the 60 with really nowhere to go.
We saw that, and I thought, man, I hope they can race back. NASCAR with no option.
Tightened up right before the pit stop. This run, the car has gone to the free side. Oh, and he's in the wall. Harvick.
Kevin Harvick has slammed the wall in turn 3. Jamie.
Well, just on the radio on the 4, just said he thinks he blew a right front tire.
Wow. 2nd caution of the Harvick's Ford. Here's a look.
See him, he's trying to chase down the 42 of Larson. Now he had been running a little bit lower than that.
Oh, you see the sparks. See the sparks start flying out behind the cars. He went into turn 3.
Was it a left front or right front? Looks like a left front went down.
I was going to say, the right front looked fine, but that left front's flat.
Yeah, as soon as it goes down, as soon as that tire goes down, the car sits on the splitter, and you lose your ride height, and that's what makes the car go up the racetrack into the wall.
And I looked at that damage to the right front, Jeff. That's not just going to throw a tire on there and fix it. I think it got serious chassis damage. Pretty hard lick.
He was just lacking front grip. Alex is saying that when he gets around other cars, though, he just gets tight. Whoa, he gets his teammate loose into the wall.
William Byron into the wall.
Ready.
Coming
Inside.
off turn 2.
You're clear. Got pretty hard right rear damage. You're clear to the bottom.
Very similar meter there showing 190 miles an hour getting into the corner. Slows down to about 160 where that car slides sideways and gets into the wall.
Yeah, that back just steps out and you try to...
Blaney better put a big block. He doesn't know which way to go.
Man. Indecisive right there.
Logano 3 wide into 3 top to bottom, and there they go.
Around right in front of the field.
Jimmy's Johnson.
Joey Logano's around.
And everybody missed Johnson.
And I don't think even the 22 got very substantial damage to his car.
I'm not sure if anybody made contact with anybody, but that was an incredible.
First, let's see what happens to the 48.
Oh, the 11 goes to the inside. They make contact.
Yep.
Very similar to what we saw in the All-Star race. I think it was what, the 17, the 78. That turns Jimmy Johnson around. Boy, the 20 was just trying to get slowed down. Was on the rear bumper of Logano in the 22, and that's what turned him around.
That's amazing.
Let's watch from Denny Hamlin.
So one outside, one behind. the Menard car if you want it, still outside.
Jimmy making that leg exit down.
Clear low still. No runs. There you go, outside. Still there. And outside. Keep running low though. He's going to come down, keep coming low. Come on, he's coming down. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Go high. Good miss. Hold the brake here. Hold the brake. We're going to be fine. Hold the brake to the right.
Great job to TJ Majors. That was Dale Jr.'s spotter, now Joey Logano's this year.
Yep, many people think he's the best guy in the business, TJ Majors. Logano did get a little damage.
Now look, he's going to miss Johnson. He's going to swerve again to the right and miss him.
Look how he stood
but
on the brakes.
Jones just caught him.
I think the 20 saved him.
When they're normal, they're white. Oh, spin off of turn 4.
Back it down. He's in the grass. Track is clear. Track is clear. He's in the grass.
Brake Alding 4 laps down. And the BK Racing Toyota was running 33rd. And that will put us under caution.
Nice
officially
break.
For
just loses it in the middle of turns 3 and 4.
The caution, a benefit for Casey Kane and Joey Logano, who took a wave around on the last caution flag to get back on the lead lap.
Boy, that's going to work out great for them, guys.
Chris Buescher.
Yeah, he got
flat
some
right side tires
serious
now.
damage. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he got into the wall.
Caution.
Ryan Newman right there. Newman's had a pretty good night.
Larson. Turn 2, around he goes.
Hang on to it, brother.
I don't think he's going to hit anything. A little bit of damage to that right rear corner of the bumper.
Caution at lap 272.
I'll take it.
You know, it looked to me, Darrell, like
1.
Yeah, there he goes all the way to the top.
There he is.
Oh, look at that left rear.
Yeah,
remember how we talked about earlier, I think it was Matt talked about him getting some kind of wheel hop in the rear tire, getting into the corner. Boy, that was really odd.
That's what happened.
Look, that cockpit is full of smoke, and look at this car control.
Driving, still on the gas.
You always know where the wall is.
Back in the gas.
Never lose sight of that.
He's lost sight of everything. Look how much smoke is in that car. And he keeps it off the wall.
Spins it around. Here I come.
Lock it down there. Lock it down.
Oh, at about 160 miles an hour.
Mike, did you hear that? Staying in the throttle. Oh, a smoker going down into turn 1.
Fire, big fire going into turn 1.
Ryan Blaney goes aflame.
Stop on the 2 here. Stop on 2. Keep coming here. Keep coming. Keep going on your
caution.
Left.
They told him to run it till it blew up. That's what he did.
Start getting out. Hop out.
I don't mind it blowing up, but it didn't have to burn up.
Well, that caution will be a break for A.J. Allmendinger. Free pass.
Ryan Blaney.
Mike, this thing started blowing up about the start-finish line, and then, of course, it went down there a little ways, and that's oil that's just gotten all over everything, caught on fire.
That's a lot of oil.
5 gallon.
As Ken Schrader would say, it was a big hole in one of those expensive parts.
Yeah, one of those real important parts just broke.
Yep.